back to Bear With Me. The Boston Bruins are now 25-21-6, and that is good enough for 4th in the Atlantic, 7th in the Eastern Conference, and 14th in the National Hockey League. My name's Joey Copponi. That's Rob Tocci. Rob, how you doing?
Not well. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, knowing that we're brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and by Game Time Tickets, the best place to buy tickets online, sports, college, talk, favorite events. Yeah, so weird times. The last graphic that we put out was peaks and valleys. And my, oh my, that was in reference to the schedule that was upcoming in terms of the difficulty of opponent. I didn't also expect it to be in reference to their performance and outcomes of the games, but oh my God, is it ever?
It's been bad. I know there's been some peaks. And okay, all right. The Buffalo game for me has kind of erased all the goodwill the previous 2 wins gave them. Prior to the Buffalo game, I felt really damn good about this team. I thought the wins over the Senators and the Avalanche were great. I thought the Senators game was just this incredibly solid, complete 60-minute game. And then I thought the Avalanche game was kind of like it was a big character win. It's like you're getting outplayed for a lot of this game. You're down a goal. And to come back and win it 3-1 against a team like Colorado when you haven't been playing your best hockey, that was awesome. I was like, damn, this genuinely feels like a bit of a turning point. And then the Buffalo game happens, and it is the most demoralizing loss of the season to me so far.
Really?
Maybe it's the timing. Maybe it's because I just briefly got my hopes up. But there's something about letting up 2 hat tricks in a game, losing 7-2 against quite literally the only team in the Eastern Conference that is genuinely out of the playoff picture. Pittsburgh's teetering. They're pretty much out of it. But Buffalo is like the one team in the entire Eastern Conference that you can say with confidence is not making the playoffs. And they pump you 7-2. Oh my God, that sucked. And on a night when you desperately need those 2 points, where basically the 3 other teams you're competing with right now all lost. You had an awesome opportunity to gain 2 very important points, and they completely dropped the ball. Yes, they're without McAvoy. Yes, they're without Lindholm. Yes, they were without Carlo and Kastelik, which I think is a sneaky big absence. But if you leave the reins to Zadorov and Peak, be like, hey, look, guys, we're a little strung out. We need you to step up. And Zadorov just like poops his pants for like X many minutes that game. That sucks. That was like a gut check, like a heat check kind of game. You're like, oh, no, we really do kind of suck. And it kind of all is now for me tying back into the comment about buying or selling. And I keep saying that like, well, they're not so bad where they should just fire sale, and they're not really good enough to warrant buying at this deadline. With each passing game, I'm like, fucking sell. Just sell. Like, it sucks, and I don't want to accept that there probably won't be playoff hockey in Boston this year. But if it means we have a better chance at performing next season, maybe it's for the best.
Your decor in the Buffalo game was Zadorov, Peak, who are your veteran guys, I guess, there without McAvoy and Carlo. They're the strongholds of your decor with them gone. Lohrei, Osterley, Wotherspoon, and Michael Callahan. Peak and Zadorov were -3s in this game. It's like if these were, mismatch goals, and, someone like Callahan and Osterley are out there together and, caught in a change and you get a bad matchup and you get beat, something you can live with. Having the right guys on the ice and losing to a bad team, infinitely worse. And, they're just in the worst spot because I hear you with like the just fucking sell, and you're not alone. Like, I would argue that's probably the majority of people with a brain are saying like, it doesn't make sense. Don't push in with this team. Let's just retool. is probably, a good time to forego the playoffs, build for next year. But there are times and there are flashes where it's not just one guy, but it's team chemistry and it's like team tenacity that just shows itself. And it's so hard to not get emotionally invested and be like, oh, they do have it in the tank. They have that setting. Just leave it there. But they can't leave it there for more than, I think, 3 games max is the most that I've seen it in a row. But that's kind of stretching it, more like 2.
I was going to say, I really think it's 2. I don't know that we've had a 3-game stretch where I was like, damn, 3 great games in a row, guys.
I mean, they did go 5-1-1 heading into this Buffalo game, which is crazy because it didn't feel like it at all, because they lost to the Lightning, then beat the Panthers, beat the Lightning, 2 good games, lost to the Senators, beat the Sharks, lost to the Devils, beat the Senators, beat the Avalanche, then lost to the Sabres again. So it's like, they look good for a second. What's up? What's up?
I was going to say, this entire season has just been like, I'm pretty sure they lost their last 3 games 8-0. And then someone's like, yeah, did you know they're 9-2-1 in their last 13 or whatever, 12, 9-2-1 in their last 12. It's like, that's the whole season. It's just like, I only remember them playing really shitty hockey. And then people are like, yeah, but they're still in a playoff spot. I'm like, how? Makes no sense. But yeah, no, I
don't get it. Yeah, no, the 5-1-1 thing blew my mind.
Yeah, no,
I was like they're when I think it was in the pregame, they're like, they're 5-1-1 in their last 7. I was like, not the Bruins, right?
Dude,
who are you talking about?
I didn't realize this until last night. Their away record sucks. 9-14-3 compared to 16-7-3 at home. That's a huge split. I feel like they're not. I mean, we're not used to them being this bad, but I that is such a difference. That's like a complete flip, basically. So that's not great. Having a losing record on the road sucks. I think that is so detrimental to your team. We're not having a losing record anywhere, I guess, but there's something about on the road where it's like, no, we need to be at home. Like, I don't like this place. Can we go back to Boston? It's like, it's Buffalo, guys. Come on. And Buffalo looked pretty good. Some of those shots were really goddamn good. That passing play. Oof. When it was that second and third goal, I was like, honestly, good goals. Good goals. Not like, what a clean beat. Like, obviously, Boston could have done more, but, like, good shots. Tage
you
is
told
nasty.
me before the game, you're like, they go down by 2. I'm shutting this thing off.
Oh, I had a day yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, but then they, like, those goals were just so clean. You're like, you know what? Now I'll give it to them.
I watched all 60 minutes. I stuck it out. I don't know why, but I did. I don't want to only doom and gloom. There are some positives lately. Have to lead with Geeky and Pasternak just becoming, as you put it, as I asked you to answer this, and your response was Korea and Solani, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what is this 1-2 combo they're turning into? Like, what's going on? They have been fantastic. Just the chemistry is insane. Crazy what happens when you leave lines alone for a while. Just absolute
chemistry is cool.
Domination in some of these games. Zaka quietly a really big part of that duo too. I think he's been a great playmaker for those other two. Pasta, but you keep saying Pasta playmaker too. Like, just
that's my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I think it was Tafumi. He was like, the best part about Geeky is that he is justifying paying Pasternak $90 million right now. Because Pasta he's probably going to be your first star of the month for January. Going into Buffalo's game, he had 22 points in 12 games. It's 17 in his last 7. Like, 4 of his 7 games were 3 or more points. Like, just this is exactly what I had been talking about all year long, was Pasternak. He hadn't been playing well. I'm like, he's going to have 2 weeks where he's going to have like 2 hat tricks, and he's just going to pop off, and it's all going to break even. And that's exactly what's happening. He just jumped into the top 10 again. Like, he has been an absolute saving grace for this offense. It sucks it's not being paired with more depth scoring. It sucks that we're really goddamn dependent on Geeky and Pasternak right now, but I'm still not going to be too upset when your superstar starts playing like a superstar.
Yeah.
And also, real quickly, Mason Lohrei really warming up, really heating up, and very solid the last couple games. I think it was against Ottawa. They moved him to the top unit power play, and he was quarterbacking it, and it looked so good. He looks so much more confident lately. The execution is completely there. The defensive play is there. He had the nice goal against Buffalo yesterday. He has one move. He has one move, and it works every time, seemingly. Good on you, Lohrei. So I in all of their defensive woes right now and all the players that are out, for him now to be finding his game like this is great. It's like sucks it's not enough, but I still love to see it from Lohrei. I really, really think Lohrei finding his game is going to be very important for this team.
Going back to the Geeky and Pasta thing, just really quick here. The Solani Korea thing, obviously a bit of hyperbole. It's just the comparison stems from Teemu Solani's assists. This is when he was in Winnipeg before coming to join Korea in Anaheim. 29, 26, 20, 19. And then once he joined Anaheim, 58, 52, 60, 52. When you take a pure goal scorer or a goal scoring threat and pair him with another goal scoring threat and play like selflessness and playmaking overcomes them, and you have two legitimate on that line, three legitimate scoring threats and legitimate playmaking threats, it's just simply unstoppable. It's unbelievable when they get going. Like Pasta doing that like wraparound pass, it stuns me. It catches me off guard. It's like, who would ever expect him to make that move? It's like, Pasta comes around the net with that kind of speed. You know that he's trying to get himself some space, square up and take the shot. Like, that he's going to have that quick release short side. Nope. Like
it's going to Geeky, who you didn't notice sneaking in the back door.
Who's all alone.
Right.
All alone somehow. That just keeps happening. But
the scout report's like, who the fuck is Morgan Geeky?
Better learn.
Yeah. Also, I texted you. He's 20. Geeky is 26, and now it makes sense to me. But at the time, I was like, that doesn't seem right. I don't know what age he should be, but 26 doesn't seem like the right one.
He shouldn't be any age.
He's timeless. Also, I work with someone that is his absolute doppelganger, and I know this guy knows nothing about the Bruins. And every day I want to go up and be like, "You had a good game last night," and be like, "What are you talking about?" Like, your secret's safe with me, Morgan. It's okay.
Come on,
just because you're going by a different name now, you work in biotech. It's fine.
You think it might be him?
Yeah, I know it is. He winked at me one time. I assume that's what it was. That or I need to call HR, one or the other.
Morgan Geeky, your coworker, is 2 goals away from tying his career high in a season.
Yeah, he'll do that. No problem.
He will probably do that. He scored, and it was last year. Last year he had 17 goals in 76 games. This year he has 15 and 11 this year in 47 games. I like him to beat that. I will take him to surpass 17 goals.
What do you think about Frederic right now?
What do I think about him?
Yeah.
You want to know what I think about him, dude?
What do you think about him?
I'll tell you what I think about him. The big game is almost here, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big game. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for the big game. I love the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash. Check out the promos tab to tail any of our super sweet Millie winners. Big game lineups. And if you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. That's $1 million. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. You don't even need to receive it. You're doing okay. But if you play the $5, you don't even need to win. You still receive the bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Download the app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS. $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. What do I think about Trent Frederic?
Let me go first. 25 games in the last 2 months. So January, December, 25 games. He has 7 points. He had 4 points in December. He has 3 points in January. I test most of the time. Don't like it. Compare just relative to what I expect from him from what he usually does. I never want to be like, I don't think they're trying, because like they're trying. I know they're trying. But it feels like he gives up on plays, and he's not really, the forecheck isn't that hard and the back check isn't that hard. And I like, he's making a play or two, he's getting a shot on goal or two, but he's like hit 3 against Buffalo. I think his diminished play in a contract year, no less, is another quietly important part of why they're not playing so well. It's so much more complicated than any one player. But I feel like there's something going on. Like it's so weird that in a contract year and a team that you've spent your whole career with so far to just evaporate. And even if you don't want to stay, it's still like you're going to get moved probably, and you're just hurting your own value. So I don't know what's going on. I still maintain that Frederic is not on this roster by the end of the season. Which is really disappointing, because I think had he had a better season, well, they probably would have moved him anyways. But it just sucks to see a guy like Frederic, who I like a lot. Like, we're both fans of Frederic, and we've liked his play the last few years, but just a disappointing season from him.
Such a Bruin, and such a fan favorite. Like, just a top draft pick for, gets his own T-shirt kind of guy. Has his own fan club kind of guy. But the only reason I could see Trent Frederic here at the end of the year after the deadline is if they are truly getting nothing on the market. Because the thing is, if Frederic has put up what he's put up, teams are taking a flyer on a third line, kind of pretty physical guy, doesn't really produce. Like, who is loading up on that guy to go into the playoffs? And I mean, you look at the trade value too. The Blackhawks just traded Taylor Hall for a 2nd round pick. Like, the market is baffling. So if Chicago just fucked everybody over by setting the market there, I mean, what does Trent Frederic fetch you? Like, you have to package him with somebody and get a third?
Oh yeah, no, he will be part of a package deal.
But he's like been talked about as being like the marquee guy of a trade, that it would be him for a pick and a prospect. Like,
maybe not anymore.
And that's just not going to happen anymore.
Not anymore, anyways. Maybe if he were at the top of his game, that would be enough. Be like, hey, we got a bona fide power forward for you. What do you got? But now we're like, hey, we got Trent. We got Trent. Do you want Trent?
He really did go from being Freddie to being Trent.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we'll divide his when he's on his game, he's Freddie. When he's off, he's Trent. Right now, he is Trent.
Yeah, he's playing.
The more I say it, the more I don't think that's a name. But
it does sound absolutely incorrect, especially for Freddie. It's like,
it sounds like a structure. It's like, well, before we build the dam, we have to build the Trent. So
right. Well, yeah, you have to build a Trent around the whole thing.
Yeah. I think I'm thinking of the word trench, but that might be it.
Yeah, it's a trench tent is what it is. Oh, and somebody saw the word trench close. And the word tent and was like, I want to name my baby after both of these things. And then that kid grew up to fight, and here we are.
It's a beautiful baby boy, Miss Clinton Dix. What would you like to name him?
Yeah, I think it's pronounced hey hey.
That's worse. That's much worse. I so just generally, like, I know there's a lot of doom and gloom around this team right now, and understandable. Just the season on a whole. And I try not to let myself slide too far into it. Like I said, there's still, it's such a confusing season because their play is so up and down. They're just like, oh, we're gonna make the play. Oh, we're gonna make it. Oh, we're gonna make it. And it's like you still have so many teams around you competing for only a handful of playoff spots. You have played more games than all of them. You are barely in a wild card spot. It's going to take so many other teams playing so poorly and the Bruins playing so well to decidedly get into the playoffs that, like, I think in the next few weeks I really need to come to terms with the fact that we're not going to see the playoffs this year. And if we do, it's like a wild card first round exit kind of deal where like what was it, the Capitals last year where they technically made the playoffs and then they got waxed. So
that's the thing is, like, it's easy for me to imagine a world where they push in and make it. It's almost impossible to imagine a world where this team strings it together for long enough to win 16 games in the spring. That's really hard for me to picture. Like, it being a legitimate cup contender, I get this sucks because this is so not me. Because I really am like a ride them till the end kind of guy. Every year with the Bees, with the Sox, it's like just go for it, just go for it, just go for it. I'm greedy. I want to see the playoffs right now. I don't want to think about next year. But the position that they're in, it's like this is the kind of situation where you need a full retool to really get back there. And I hate the retool versus rebuild. Like it's
I don't even know what the difference is. Is
I guess a
retool less
rebuild is
severe
more
than a rebuild?
drastic.
No, never mind. Yeah, I don't, and this is like where like I can't play GM. I don't know. This is so outside of my area of pretend expertise that, like, I don't know who to move. I don't know who to target. I just know that they're not so good that they're like, look, if we just get like one or two more guys, I think like we're the team. It's like, no, it's like you need your 3 superstar defensemen to come back, start playing really well, really quickly. Again, I believe that Castellic being out really fucks the bottom 6 and therefore the team. I think that's going to be one of those things when he comes back, he's going to have like 3 shifts and people will be like, oh my God, I really miss Castellic. This always happens when the bottom 6 character guy goes out. Like before, it was like Nosek before, or just like anybody in the bottom 6 that's really important to that group, and they're gone, and it doesn't really get discussed much. And then they come back, and you're like, "Oh shit, what feels different?"
The players are here now.
The players are here now. Where do you land on bringing up Merkulov and or Lysell right now?
Not right now.
No. Do you think it will matter at any point this season? Or like, is there a point? Like, what are you waiting for, if anything?
A miracle. You're waiting for the team to maybe prove to you, because I still think there's a chance that the team could be persuaded to buy at the deadline. Like, I think it's still there.
Yeah,
like,
we're not so far gone.
There's weeks. Like they could
30 games left. Which isn't a lot, but it also is.
Yeah. I don't think now is the time. And also it's just, if the vibes are so down and if the team can't string anything together, like, does it help having them here? And the Bruins are also just like not that team. Like, they've talked a lot, especially Cam. Like, we'll talk about this. Seems like a good transition. Cam Neely talking about guys like Patra and the young guys like earning their spot and outscoring their mistakes. I think
are they outscoring their mistakes?
Yeah, phrase it like a question. Are they outscoring their mistakes? And I don't think the Bruins are the kind of organization to be like, yeah, just bring them up, give them a shot, whatever. I think they're they're stingy about it. There's still an organizational pride about coming up and putting on the B and all that shit.
Yeah, like if we aren't that team, what team are we? Like this isn't even a like, oh, let's not rock the boat. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like it's very broken. It's quite broken, and you're not trying many things to fix it. And certainly don't mean to imply that you're only a Merkulov and or Lysell call-up away from righting the ship. But if like your biggest Achilles heel is the power play, which it's getting better, but it's still not where it needs to be. Like it's still not a weapon. Like even Brick was like on the road, down a goal. This is when you need your power play. Absolutely need your power play to score. And they don't. And then you have a guy like, I'm going to single out Merkulov here, who has been instrumental to the Providence power play. That is all anybody who covers Providence will tell you is how important Merkulov is to the power play. And they won't even say his name. They won't even consider him. I mean, maybe behind closed doors they are, but it's like, if you look at like who they dressed against Buffalo, it's like, yes, they're quite injured. And I've liked Vinny Lettieri, I truly have, but like I don't think he's been playing so well that he couldn't get rotated out with another Providence player. But like that spot that he's occupying should be the like that's for the Providence player that like is getting the opportunity to justify us keeping you here. And he's been solid. Like he hasn't been, again, like I'm not expecting like a 3-point night from whoever is in that spot, but it's been long enough where it's like, yep, you played well, we liked it, but we want to see what else we can bring up. Like you have Merkulov, you have Lysell, like you're already leaning on Providence pretty hard with like Michael Callahan and Lettieri. But like it's like Frederic could probably benefit from getting healthy scratched at this point. I don't think he's giving you so much that it's like inherently better than giving somebody from Providence a shot. Like I can say that about a lot of the guys. Like Coyle's been okay at best, but like not well. I mean, Coyle's not a guy you're healthy scratching the way that you would Frederic probably. It's beating a dead horse, but like don't love Lindholm's play. Really don't. And then Beecher too, which sucks. I really like Beecher, but like he hasn't felt terribly impactful. And just to speak very generally against this Buffalo game, and this got highlighted when Zadorov did that stupid shit on Petraglia at the end. But it's like that was a very emotionless game from the Bruins. Like no one was very engaged. And the first time someone was, it was Zadorov taking a stupid fucking penalty in like the closing minutes, just like slamming the guy who had a 4-point night and a hat trick. And then just like, it's like, okay, cool. And like, I know there's some old heads out there who are like, oh, that I love that. That's what it should be. It's like, no, like that's fucking meaningless. Like, if you're that upset, fucking use it in the game. Use it until there isn't 90 seconds left to go in a 7-2 game. That means nothing to me. You get nothing from me for like throwing a hissy fit against their superstar of the game in the last shift. I don't care. That doesn't impress me. That's like the opposite. I'm like, where the fuck was this from any of you? I
think it's also that like he again just drops the gloves with a guy who's very much not looking to go, and I hate that from the other side. So to try to be objective about it, like I don't even have to try really. It's just an objectivity overtakes my brain where I'm like, that's fucking wrong. Don't do that. Makes you look like a fucking ogre is what it makes you look like. To be like, oh, I fight him. I fight now. Punch him. It's so fucking stupid. For what reason? For what reason? Was it because one shove at the end of a game where you let up a touchdown? Be mad at yourself. Drop the gloves on yourself, bro.
And he shoved him. The play was dead. It was an icing. He just like hit him after an icing because he was upset. Also, Zadorov has 6 inches and 60 plus pounds on Petraglia. Like, cool, Nikita. Awesome. Love that. Like, I don't care. Like, that's
congratulations on the 100 penalty minutes. It's been a while since we've done the show. He hit 100. What's he at now?
115, 114 now. He had got another 12 last game. And again, it's beating a dead horse, and I know it's where everybody's at right now. But I don't know in retrospect what I expected from Zadorov, but it was a hell of a lot more than what he's been given. Yeah,
it is 115.
115. Yeah,
I thought you were exaggerating.
No, it literally was. It was 103 at the end of the game before, and he got another 12. I don't know. I don't know if it's because he's being put in a higher position right now because you have in this game you had 3 big defensemen out. I don't know, but even still, that sucks. That like you're like, oh well, we need to lean on you a little bit this game, and then that's the performance you get from him. Yeah. And it's not an isolated incident. It's consistent, like consistently, and it's beyond like whatever like attitude shit I'm talking about here. It's like the performance. It's the defensive play is not very good. I like it when it is. I am rooting for Zadorov because if he figures it out, that's awesome for the Bruins. Like, I do not want him to play this way. I want him to play way better, but he's not right now. And that's frustrating. I miss Lindholm so goddamn much.
You know what it makes me think of, honestly?
What does it make you think of?
It makes me think of how Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. Game Time Picks curation makes it easier to find better value for tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. In the all-in pricing tool, you toggle that, dude. It shows you the total right up front, so there's no surprise fees at checkout. You ever do that? You ever like, oh, it's $11 to go to Fenway, and then you buy 2 tickets and you get to checkout and it's like that'll be $58, and you're like, that's not 11 times 2. I did math. That's not how it works. Game Time doesn't do that. They're like, hey, if it's $11, it's $11. That's what you're paying. All in pricing tool. I actually love that. And the seat views, you get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. That's a must do. That's an absolute must do. If you're going to the Garden, sit right behind the penalty box. Get a picture with Nikita Zadorov. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, let's look ahead at the schedule here.
You know what sucks?
Do have games coming up. What's up?
Look, their next. All right, so offensive woes for Boston. Their next game is against Connor Hellebuck. We're playing. The best goalie in the goddamn world. He wants to self-flagellate whenever he lets in like the most justifiable goal of all time, and he was like, "I'm cutting off a toe after this game. That's so unacceptable."
So that'll be a good one. ESPN Plus exclusive. That's sick. I just don't have Nesson anymore, so that means I can't watch any of these games on a television. I have to, whatever. Nobody wants to hear about that. So their upcoming games, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left before the Four Nations break. 5 before the Four Nations. Winnipeg, the Rangers, the Wild, the Rangers again, and the Vegas Golden Knights. 2 matinees in there, 2 3:30 starts. 3:30. 2 3:30 games.
Awful.
Rob.
Awful.
2 Saturday 3:30 games. Do not like that. Man, what could you wish for out of this? I think this is like a survive. This is not the time to climb back in. You survive until Four Nations. You try to go 500 over this stretch and just go home and fucking rest.
Yeah, I keep wondering how beneficial or detrimental that 2-week break could be for Boston. It could be an awesome reset for them. Just get away from it for some of them, for most of them. And then for the players who are playing, specifically Elias Lindholm, I think a really good tournament could be good for him. Just like a little bit of a change of scenery, a little bit of change in lineup, just like let him get back to his game a bit. But I agree. No, I don't really think that I'm not super bullish on the team for the next 5 games. I think if you can hold at 500, that's pretty ideal for those 5. I have a hard time believing they're going to beat Winnipeg just because of their history with them and how good Hellebuck is and where the team is right now. I will say, per Scott McLaughlin 8 minutes ago, this is for the practice of Tuesday or Wednesday morning. Both goalies and 13 skaters are at the optional practice, including McAvoy, Hampus Lindholm, Carlo, and Kastelik. Sacco said that only Kastelik has been officially ruled out for tomorrow, and he didn't rule anybody else out. I don't really think we're going to see McAvoy and Lindholm. We'll probably see Carlo. I expect Carlo back. He was just sick. He's not injured. It would be awesome to get him to get them all back at once. It sucks Kastelik won't be available, but soon enough. But even with that big turnaround, even against Winnipeg, I don't think they're going to take out more than a point if they can get a point. And I know you just listed it off, but I forget who we're playing after that. New York, Minnesota, New York, Vegas.
Yep.
Interesting. Not great.
I think 500's in play, and I think it's realistic. And honestly, it's just survive. Even if it's below 500, you can get just some points out of these games. That'd be great, because I'm not positive if the Four Nations tournament is going to be positive or negative for them either. But it is certainly their best chance, their best opportunity to reset. It's like, if it's going to happen, if there's going to be a turning point for the Boston Bruins, I don't know if you've seen that headline anywhere this year, but if there's going to be one, that is the prime candidate. So staying afloat till then is all that really matters to me, because I do have hope for this team. I do want them to be good. I do want them to suddenly find it and to be talking like, man, remember in January when we thought this team was dead and we thought they were sellers and blah, 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 blah. Would love that. But it has to turn around after the Four Nations. We'll talk during the Four Nations. I can't imagine I'm going to care, but
I'm going to try. I genuinely am going to try to care.
Yeah, sure.
It's a warm-up for the Olympics next year, because I will care about the Olympics, because USA Hockey is really fucking good.
I'll care about the Olympics.
I didn't care as much until I learned that the players actually care about this tournament, because they're like, you're representing your country in a best on best. Like, that always matters.
And not every player gets an opportunity to compete for a gold medal. Like, that's
correct. Yeah. People are saying there's people who will make this roster who probably won't make the Olympic roster, and this is big for them, which is cool. I'm trying to think of anything else specifically I want to talk about. It's just been a tough go of it lately, and it makes me sad.
Sorry, who are the Four Nations? It's U.S., Canada, Russia?
Nope. Finland and Sweden. I know. Yeah. Finland, yeah.
Is it just 17 goalies?
It's Tuukka coming out of retirement, yeah.
It's just all goalies. What's the Finnish roster look like?
I'm bringing that up right now.
Is there like 10 superstars I don't know?
There's a lot of people. I think you're going to have a lot of, I didn't know these people were Finnish. Sebastian Aho, Joel Armia, Alexander Barkov, Michael Granlund, Eric Alla, old friend, Rupe Hintz, Capo Kakko, Patrick Laine, Arturi Lehkonen, Anton Lundell, Listerainen, Mikko Rantanen, Teuvo Teravainen, Heiskanen, Lindell, Oli Mata, Nico Mikkola, Rasmus Ristolainen, Ville Make, I don't know this guy, Kevin Lankinen, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and Jussi Saros. That's a good team. That's actually
basically just spoke Finnish. You know what I mean? Like, you just said a bunch of that was blowing my mind a little bit to listen to.
With every name, I was like, I'm surprised I know how to say this one. Like,
yeah. That is one of the perks of being a hockey fan, that you can look at a Finnish name and be like, yeah, it's.
I can look at the name and be like, that's Finnish. I know that's Finnish. Did you see how many vowels are in this last name?
Okay, well, I was wrong. Who is in net for Finland?
Probably going to be Jussi Saros, I would imagine. Luukkonen is also good, and I don't know, Kevin Lankinen of the Vancouver Canucks. I'm not super familiar with him. So out of those three, Saros is definitely the big boy.
Yeah, no Russia, no Czech, kind of crazy.
But. Yeah, I know. Obviously, Pasta was pretty upset. No Checha, and he was probably just like in his feels when he said this. But they're like, "Are you going to watch it?" And he's like, "No."
Yeah,
like,
I remember that.
He's like, "I'm not fucking watching that shit. It won't let me play." I just love it because
I'm
that
sure
dude
the
just
league was
loves
really
playing.
stoked he said that.
He just wants to fucking play hockey. He just
Yeah.
it's all he wants to do is play hockey. He's going to be.
All right.
I'm really excited for the Olympics with him next year. I think that matters a lot to him. It'll be cool to get Crosby, McKinnon, and Marchand back together for the Olympics. They'll be together for Four Nations, but I assume the three of them will stick together again. Assuming Crosby is still playing, that'll be cool to see. And again, USA Hockey is I think going to take the throne away from Canada, at least for now, which I didn't care about before, but now that we're going to be winning, I care. Now I care. So
yeah, now it matters. Now everyone knows this.
Matt Poitras 1C Olympic squad. We all see it coming. It's fine. Don't question me.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back before the Four Nations. We'll be back probably once before then. In the meantime, go Bees, I guess. I want them to go. So go for me. Unless they're not going, then get rid of them. Then go out of here. That's the title of the episode. Thank you guys for listening. Follow us on the socials at bearwithme_pod. You can follow him at Rob Tocci. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for suffering with us, and thanks for
bearing with me.